Rings of Power just continues to show just how much of a disappointment and failure it was, and everyone was expecting this, because usually when a show is good and is well received, as the season continues to go on, it starts to gain more viewers rather than losing them, just like with The Last of Us on HBO Max. Well, the same thing can't be said for Amazon's Rings of Power, which we are finally getting the numbers that Amazon has been hiding on for so long, having sources leaking information pertaining to Rings of Power. Only 37% of US Lord of the Rings of Power viewers finished season 1, a 63% drop. That is something you wouldn't have expected, especially pertaining to Lord of the Rings. Fans were waiting for something like this, and well, it was a complete failure, because we are continuing to see people in power gain control over these materials and just spit all over the source material to better enhance it for the modern audience. And at the end of the day, only about a third decided to stick through this pungent of a show. Since its premiere last September, The Lord of the Rings of Power, has been proudly branded a hit by Amazon. Prime Video proclaimed that the fantasy series premiere day broke records for the stream with 25 million viewers tuning in. As of March, Amazon has been calling it their biggest show ever, with over 100 million people worldwide having watched the series. And that's usually how it goes. When it comes to these corporations, they like to inflate themselves with great numbers, making it seem as that product that they have made is a giant success. And in return, they get praise from the media outlets as well as the people they're trying to pander to. In the United States, only 37% of viewers who started the Rings of Power actually watched all 8 episodes to completion. According to a new report from The Hollywood Reporter, the number was not shared directly from Amazon, but reportedly came from sources within the organization. Overseas, the completion rate was significantly better, but at 45%. Less than half of all viewers were compelled to complete Amazon's Middle-earth adventure. Of course, sources within Amazon would have to leak the information. Why would Amazon themselves want to admit failure in their numbers? Especially them using the IP of Lord of the Rings, which should have been a giant success right off the bat. If the show was actually good, then none of this would matter. But you even had Amazon saying that they expected a 50% retention in viewership by the end of the season. And it says it right here. Admittedly, it's hard to say for certain how these completion rates compare to other shows at Amazon or otherwise. The streamers that do release viewership metrics never share completion rates for their titles, so success is measured by the raw amount of hours audiences watched the show, even if a few only tuned in for 2 minutes. That said, according to the Hollywood Reporter story, insiders at Amazon claimed a 50% completion rate would be viewed as a solid but not spectacular result for an original. That 50% was the bottom of the barrel estimate. The worst that it could have gotten for Amazon, and well, that barrel has a hole beneath it apparently. And as we said, even overseas wasn't able to crack that 50%, being below it at 45%. It just shows you that people from everywhere lost interest watching the show because many are fans of Tolkien and his works. Even the average viewer disliked the show. Hell, the show wasn't even average if it has fallen below the 50% retention. And that is what happens when you defile the works of a great author, J.R.R. Tolkien, that many people respect, making the Hobbit trilogy, which I enjoyed myself, and I know that many didn't. But this show made that whole trilogy seem that was made from the heavens. That's how bad Rings of Power was. It just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. This needed to have been a success, and with the first season already done, and it being terrible, just imagine the numbers for season 2. With again, more than likely you'll have Amazon releasing numbers and information that pertains to how much of a success season 2 is with viewers and blah blah blah. But you won't get the end result unless someone leaks it from within, just as we have seen here. And time again, this should have been a success. It should have. It had success written all over it, with it being related to Lord of the Rings. And well, now we're having Warner Bros. Making their own set of movies, which I truly do hope does well. Because there needs to be some restoration in faith when it comes to this IP, and have people behind the scenes that respect the material without adding their own messagings and agendas into it. And with all that in mind, I'd like to hear your thoughts and comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.